What's up, y'all? Welcome to the next stage of our building the freaking coolest AI agents possible video series for free on YouTube. So if you're not sure why we're using N8N or what our simple tech stack is for building the most powerful AI agents, there's a video that is linked right there somewhere up in the top right. Watch that from the beginning. You'll get to see exactly what our simple tech stack is, and then you can watch the videos in order to catch up to this point. It's super easy, super cool. Okay, we're gonna jump right in here. So this is N8N. Automations are literally just dominoes that you need to set up, and when you push over the first domino, the rest of the dominoes fall. It's just a step-by-step action chain. Okay, I'm sending a text message to my assistant now that says, great, thank you for the support. I'm really excited. Can I make money with AI? How can you help? What's the best solution? And here we go. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. I guess here's a good time to explain that item split, right? So one item comes in, that's the text message. We're determining if questions are being asked. Yes, questions are being asked. So the code separates the questions. We're splitting those questions into 3 different fields. So the code formats it this way. Now we're separating it into 3 different items, excuse me. So you'll see one item comes in, 3 items come out. Those items get stored in Notion. And then we limit it back down to 1 item on to continue through the automation. And I did receive a text message back, and it was Finn. Text me back. Cool. SMS is fine.
Sending the appointment link. Just a sec. Great, the appointment link has been sent.
Cool, thank you, appreciate it. And this is my text messages. Boom. We're good to go. All right, that's how the automation works. It's super step-by-step straightforward, right? Okay, so my trigger, your trigger is always going to be the very first thing that starts an automation. This is a webhook trigger, so this means I'm getting information from a different software, and it's sending that data to N8N to trigger automations. Some other examples of triggers are, let's look it up, trigger. There's a bunch, but there's an easier way to see this. Here, add another trigger. So you can trigger workflows manually by clicking test workflow, and that can trigger a workflow. You can trigger workflow with an event that happens on a different application. For example, if you're using Airtable for your CRM, you have a trigger called on new Airtable event. So when something happens in Airtable, you can trigger an automation here in N8N. Super cool. Here's another example. There's on webhook call, which is what we're using right here, which is very similar to the on another app event, right? This webhook is catching data that's coming from my Go High Level CRM. Here's another example on chat message. So when somebody chats in to the N8N chat portal, it's super cool. You can embed a chat widget on your website with N8N, and then when somebody messages that widget, it will trigger this automation to reply. And you can also just schedule your automations, right? So this could be an automation that goes out every day, right? Or every 12 hours, really whatever you want to schedule. But that's all triggers are. It's some sort of condition that needs to be met to start your automation. Cool. Now, these steps in between after the trigger, these are called nodes. Each of these little blocks here, this is a node, this is a node, this is a node, this is a node. Everything's a node. Cool. And these are just actions. It's an execution. That is all a node is. It's just the next action that needs to be taken. So to put it simply, again, an automation is a series of dominoes that you need to set up so you can knock the first one down and take all of the actions after that. When you're thinking about setting up automations, really the main principle is just think through step by step what actions you would have to take manually to achieve your outcome, whatever goal you're shooting for, and then put those steps in place one at a time. So you have to think about, what is your goal? I'm starting here. I'm trying to go here. What steps do I have to take from start to finish? That is all. Once you think through it thoroughly, you'll realize, oh, okay, there's a couple steps that I typically didn't realize I had to do, and building the automation allows you to have a very thorough understanding of the process for achieving an outcome. This example here in front of you might look complex. I promise it is not. What is happening here is, in Go High Level, I have it set up to send information to N8N whenever somebody texts me at a certain number. So when somebody texts my AI agent Finn, so they send a text message or a WhatsApp message to +1 806 303 0888. Go High Level will send information to N8N and trigger the rest of this workflow. We'll cover exactly how to build these custom tools in the video where we're integrating our AI with the CRM. And there's a whole video I'm dedicating specifically to custom tools with Vapi and with the texting agent. Vapi is a voice AI agent. This is how I build my custom text AI agents. We'll cover a very in-depth video of building other custom tools, but I'm kind of just going to walk you through what this process looks like. So again, on the first field, we have a webhook. So once I get data from Go High Level, it's going to trigger the workflow. In the edit fields map, I'm literally just taking the data that I got from Go High Level and I'm renaming it so it's easier to format for later steps. Right? This also is not super complicated. When my webhook goes off, I can map each of the data fields into N8N just so I have an easy organization of all the data I need. Because Go High Level will send all of the information about a contact, right? Custom fields, any custom values that you wanted to send, their name, their address, their phone number, literally all of the information that's stored on a contact, which can be a lot, that all gets sent to N8N. I only want certain pieces of data, so I set that data in a field so I can just easily go find it in the next steps of the automation. Cool. After that, I am sending the information to an AI agent. So again, this is an automation that gets triggered when somebody texts my AI agent. I need the AI agent to be able to figure out what they're texting about and send a response. This AI agent specifically is actually looking to see if the person who texted in asked any questions, because for my particular use case here, I want to store those users' questions in a database somewhere so that I can go back and make content to answer those questions. That would actually probably be helpful if I kind of explain from a high level what the goal here is. So when somebody texts me, I want to be able to respond with my AI. But I also have a secondary goal. When somebody texts me and they have a question to ask, I want to store that question inside of a database, inside Notion, where I'm documenting all of my business processes. And then I want to respond, right? So I have to think about this process step by step. What needs to happen to be able to respond to a text message with AI? So first we need to receive the text message. Here it is. Then I need to decide, is the person asking a question or do they just need a response? This AI agent is determining if somebody asks a question. I'll show you. There's a whole prompt in here that is all just explaining how to determine if somebody has asked a question and how to formulate that question to store it in the N8N document. That's all this AI agent is doing. Some other really cool things about an AI agent is it has a few pieces. AI agents have three components. They have the LLM, so that's the brain, how they can think. So OpenAI is actually the one that's processing the text message and understanding the system prompt to know exactly what it needs to do. So just like you can make a custom GPT on OpenAI or an AI assistant on OpenAI, this is the same principle behind making an assistant. Just give it its role, make sure it understands how to do its task, and let it fly. The next really cool component about AI agents are they have a memory. So they actually remember the context of the conversation that is happening. N8N has a built-in window memory system, and I have it set to remember the previous 20 messages in a conversation. So it understands the context of each session, so each chat with the user when it comes in. Memories are super cool. So we have the brain, we have the memory. The last really cool piece of AI agents is they can take actions. So here I have a tool called Search Database, and this is searching my Notion database to determine whether or not the question that somebody has asked has already been asked before by another user. The reason I have this set up is because I don't want to store the same question over and over and over again. If the question has already been asked before, I'm not going to be storing that new question inside of my database. So I want to search the database when somebody asks a question to determine whether or not that question has been asked before. If it has not been asked before, if there's no question that somebody asked, or if that question has already been asked, then I don't need to store a new question inside of my database. I'm just going to respond with the AI. I'll walk through that in just a moment. Now, if somebody does ask a new question, this AI has figured out what that question is, and its output is the question that has been asked. If there's no new question, then it just responds with false, and we go down the false path. If there is a new question, it responds with the question that needs to be asked, and it goes through the true path, right? Yes, there has been a question that was asked. Awesome. The rest of this is really just formatting here. N8N is a little particular about the way that you can format responses to update the database. So I'll just kind of show you the code real quick. I'm just reformatting the structure of the question so that I can separate those questions with a split out. Again, this is not super complicated. We'll be building this step by step in another video anyways, but right now I just want you to understand the concept of using N8N to build custom tools. So I have to reformat the data and separate it. So if somebody asks like 3 questions, I want to separate each of those 3 questions so I can store them all inside of the database as individual items. So this code block, and the way I wrote this code is I literally just explained what I needed to do, gave it to Claude and said, hey, can you separate these responses for me and make them individual items? That's all. So if somebody asks 3 questions, 3 questions come into the code block. The code block separates the 3 questions into 3 different items. So now we had one text block that has 3 questions in it. They get separated to have 3 different outputs, 3 items that are coming out. And this one is the one that's actually doing the splitting. So the code separates the questions to fit a format that the split function can actually separate. I know this might seem a little complicated right now, but I promise it is not. Honestly, the best way to do this might be to just show you. Yeah, I'll show you this automation in its workings here in a moment after I explain the rest of the automation. Inside of Notion, we have my database, and I'm just storing the questions, what time the question was logged, and that is literally it. I just want to know, oh, this person asked a question. And I don't even need to know who asked the question. Really, I just need to know what was the question, and I'm curious, when was it logged? Again, there are 3 items that are coming here to Notion, right? If there are 3 questions, there are 3 different items going through this workflow now. I don't want to have 3 items continue to move forward because it's going to trigger the rest of these automations 3 times. So I have this limit function here to reduce the amount of items that move forward past this point back down to 1. So 1 item comes in at the beginning to trigger, and that's the message. 1 item goes through all of these processes. At the code block, we reformat that 1 item to be able to separate it into 3 items if it's 3 questions. If it's 2 questions, it's 2 items. If it's 4 questions, it's 4 items. If it's 1 question, there's nothing to be split, right? But that question then gets stored in Notion. We limit the responses beyond this point back to 1 because I don't want to trigger these other automations with multiple items. That would make my AI respond 3 times if there were 3 questions. I only want the AI to respond once. This edit field is, again, just reformatting the data, or not formatting the data. It's just another set. I'm just, again, putting the responses into a field that is easy to find. And it's really the same set data that I used in the first one. Honestly, it's not super necessary, but sometimes when setting up these automations, the AI agent has a hard time, or just this node in general, it has a hard time finding the original input. Like, it has a hard time looking back and seeing, oh, this is my where all of my information is about the contact, right? Their address, their phone number, their name, whatever. I just find it easier to add edit fields before any of my AI agents, so it's really easy to just look one step back and find the information I need. But these are just copy and pastes of the original edit field. It's not super necessary. I just find it more convenient to do that. Anyways, this agent is actually doing a response. So again, if we look here at this step, for the true response, right, if there is a new question that has been asked, we're just going up to store in Notion real quick, and then we're coming back down to do the response. If there's no new question that's being asked, we're just coming down to do the response. Cool. So this AI agent, again, has an LLM, it has a brain, it has a memory, and it has a couple of tools. So this agent is actually doing the response. It's meant to greet the user, send a message to welcome them, and then ask the questions, or ask if the user has any questions. Right, it's just continuing to manage the conversation, and it has a memory to see what the context of the conversation has been to this point. If the user requests to be called on the phone, there's a tool for the AI agent to initiate a phone call. Yes, we're using Vapi for this. And also, I want to be able to update my CRM. Like, if some random person texts into the AI agent and I don't already have their name or other information stored in the CRM, this AI agent asks for the user's name. Here, this is the first message. Before we dive in, could you please tell me your name and the name of your business? Then, with that response, it uses the tool update contact to update the name in that contact. I will show you exactly how to build all of this stuff later on. But for now, again, it is a simple step-by-step process. If you were texting somebody and you didn't have their name and you figured out what their name is, you would save that contact, right? You put their name up in their little contact and save it. That's all this AI is doing. It's like, oh, okay, this is Johnny. I'm going to save Johnny's name. Now I'm going to respond to Johnny's text message. Cool. Again, this edit field is just to get the response from the AI agent and hold it. That's all. It's just an easy way for me to go find the output that this agent put out, the response. This step here is used to format the response in a way that is going to be able to reply back to the contact. When we're using an HTTP request, it is pretty particular about the formatting that you need to fill to be able to send that text back to the user without actually breaking the response, without it being an error because there is like a formatting issue. So if there's any quotations inside of an AI response, that's going to break the output. If there's any brackets like this, or like this, or like this, or there's paragraph spaces, any of that kind of stuff breaks the automation. So for the information extractor node, I'm literally just pulling out the main response and removing any sort of characters, any paragraph breaks, any quotation marks, anything that might break the response. That's what I'm using the information extractor for. And again, this is using OpenAI to think about, okay, well, where are the quotation marks? Where are the line breaks? Where are the paragraph breaks? What are the problem characters? I should remove those. And then we just respond. This is an HTTP request. This is sending information back to Go High Level. It says lead connector here, but that's just the system that Go High Level uses. This is simply sending a text message to Go High Level to respond to the person who texted in. I'll show you one of the fields here. right? There's a message type, and this is SMS or WhatsApp, because you can respond on text or on WhatsApp. The contact ID is the contact that we need to respond to, and the message is the message we are responding with. This is what the AI agent said. This agent has an output. We reformat the output here, and then we respond. That is a step-by-step automation from a high level, right? I didn't actually build it here in front of you, but you should understand that this is just, okay, when one step happens, the next step happens. Here's another example. This one is also going to look pretty wicked. I promise it's not. It's just well thought out. Yay! So I use this tool here to send appointment booking links during a conversation with the AI. So the trigger is very, very similar. This time, this tool is connected to my Vapi voice AI agent. When Vapi uses the tool, it says, hey, we need to send the appointment link now. It's going to send the information to the tool. We'll catch it. We'll map that information into the appropriate fields just for easy location. Again, just so I can easily find the data, right? The body message, the phone number, that kind of information. I do have my calendar ID and location ID already mapped in here, just so it's easy for me to find and I don't have to go put it in manually in later steps on the node. I can just reference this field or this edit fields node in later steps in the automation. After Vapi sends the request to use the tool to send an appointment link, I want to find the contact that I need to send the appointment link to. I'm searching Go High Level for a contact that matches the phone number of the caller on Vapi. That is all this search is. Yep. Search my location for the contact's phone number. Now, if we do find a contact, it goes up to this switch node. The switch node is here to help me identify just one contact, because for some reason, sometimes we might have multiple contacts that have the same phone number in the CRM. I don't do that, right? I don't allow duplicate contacts in my CRM because I don't want it to be complicated. I want everybody to only have one phone number, one contact with one phone number. But if for some reason it responded with multiple phone numbers or multiple contacts, I do need to do a little bit something different to manage that. And I'll walk you through that automation here in just a second as well. For the people who have a phone number in my contact or in my CRM already, and we found that contact and only one contact came back, right? I found one response. Now I just want to send them that text message. I want to send them the appointment link. All right, so here we are. It's another Go High Level sending message. And here is the message it's sending, right? It's going to determine it doesn't need to send via text message or WhatsApp. What is the contact ID? It found this from the search contacts node, and then it actually sends the link to schedule with me. Now, I have some error catchers here. This is literally just in case for some reason this node didn't send, whatever the reason might be. Usually it's like it didn't know whether it should send it via WhatsApp or SMS. If it breaks, it just goes to the next attempt, right? It goes to the next attempt, and this one is set to send an SMS. If that person can't receive a text message via SMS, this is going to break. So if it breaks, I send it to the next node. That's checking to see if the person can receive a message via WhatsApp. If the person can receive a message via WhatsApp, it's going to work. But if not, it's going to break. If it breaks, if it errors, I'm going to send a notification to myself using Twilio so that I can actually follow up with that person and say, hey, just wanted to make sure that you were able to schedule. No, you weren't? Okay, great. Cool. I'll get you scheduled right now. So if all of the automations break, I'm just going to text myself and I'll follow up myself. That works. Now, the Vapi AI needs to know whether or not this automation worked. So again, I'm sending this text message during the conversation that's happening on the phone with the AI. So at the end of the automation, we are responding back to Vapi to say, hey, the message worked. You can respond. Great. I just sent the message. Could you check to make sure you received it? If it broke, I'm responding, oh, looks like we had some issues, but Trajan's going to reach back out to you. That message goes to Vapi, so Vapi knows to say, hey, it broke, Trajan will reach out, we'll be all right. That is all this automation is doing. It looks complicated, but it is not. It's just well thought through to make sure that no matter what happens, the user knows what to expect. Either they got a text message or Trajan's going to reach back out. Now, if the user that's talking to the AI, for some reason I don't already have them in my CRM, then when we search for the contacts, it's not going to put out a contact ID for me to map later to text people. Either the contact is not found, or there were too many responses that came back. Right, I got 2 or 3 responses. There are several contacts, and I don't know which one to send a message to. If that happens, we go down the contact not found path, and the only difference here, it is the same exact automation as these steps. The only difference is I'm creating a contact. I'm sending an HTTP request to go high level so that I can create a contact using the phone number of the user that's calling and their name, whatever name they gave to the AI, to create a contact in my CRM so that I can send them a text message. If this does not work for some reason, if this breaks, or if any of these other messages break, right, the text message or the WhatsApp message, if any of those don't work, I'm still just sending a notification to myself to say, hey, I saw that you tried to book an appointment, just wanted to reach out and get you on my calendar. Cool. Then we're going to respond to the AI in the same exact way. So this automation here and this series of automations here are the same thing. The only difference is I need to create a contact because I didn't already have that contact in my CRM. These things should work. But again, if they don't work, just in case, I have fallbacks. That's all it is. Now, if for some reason the search contact node doesn't work, if it breaks for some reason, like it just doesn't search, this shouldn't happen. But if it does happen, again, this is just in case. If I can't search the contacts for whatever reason, this doesn't work, then I'm going to do the same exact thing I did here. These 2 automations are literally identical. I'm going to create a contact, and then I'm going to send them the text message. That is all. If I can't create the contact, I'll send myself a notification and say, hey, I need to follow up with that person. This one is quite thorough. Like I am sending a bunch of information to myself, so I know exactly who messaged me, which AI they were talking to, what's their phone number, so I can just easily go find it real quick and send them a message myself. Again, it's coming from my AI agent. This is my AI agent's phone number. It's going to text me so that I can text the person. I can call the person. I can do whatever. So my goal here is when the AI uses the tool, so sends information to send a text message link, I'm going to check to see which contact I need to send the message to. Again, I'm just going to use the phone number of the caller from Vapi, and I'm going to send them a text message. So at its simplest, if everything works well on the first try, I get information from Vapi, I set the field so I can easily just map that information on the later steps in the node. I search my contacts for the contact ID that's associated with the phone number of the caller from Vapi. If I find that contact, then I'm going to send them a message. When I send them that message, I am, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm just sending a status. This is actually, I'm not even using this right now. I can delete that one. So this could go directly to the response. But if I wanted to get a status like, oh, it was complete, the message worked, that's what that was here for, but it's not necessary. When there's a message that gets sent and it works, the AI responds, great, I just received your message. Could you make sure that you received it? That's all. So in its simplest form, message comes in from Vapi, says, hey, you got to use this tool. We search the contact ID, or we search using the phone number for the contact ID. We find the contact. We reply with a message. We actually send the message. We take the action. And then we let Vapi know, hey, we sent the message, so Vapi can tell the person, hey, we sent the message, go check. That's the automation. This looks complicated. When you think about it step by step, it does not become that complicated. I have built hundreds of automations. It takes time. It does take you thinking through a process step by step, but you can take a pen and paper and you can just write down what the process is that you would usually have to do manually, and you can set it up inside of an automation. If you are confused about this, you can literally go to the transcript of this conversation, copy it, paste it into Claude, and say, hey, Claude, can you explain to me how to build this automation that Trajan is talking about? We're using N8N. Can you just walk me through it and help me figure it out? And you'll figure it out, I promise. It will take time. It might take some debugging, but it is straightforward when you ask the right questions. Or if you reach out for the right support, right? Claude can help you. ChatGPT if you like it. I prefer Claude. But yeah, ask any questions about any of this stuff. Just tell Claude, hey, I'm using N8N. I want to build an automation to achieve this goal. Can you help me? And he will help you. We will cover exactly how to set up tools inside of Vapi. Again, that is a whole video on its own. We will do a deep dive on that, but I just wanted to make sure you have an understanding of why we use N8N. You can also do this stuff in Make. Make works well as well. The reason I use N8N is because you can self-host N8N, and what that means is instead of paying the monthly prices to use N8N on the cloud, I put N8N on my local environment, so I just put it onto my actual laptop, and now I can run everything for free for unlimited executions. So I don't pay $20 a month. I'm not limited to just 2.5 thousand workflow executions. I'm not limited to only 5 active workflows. When you follow this documentation to self-host N8N, you get N8N for free. Now, one step after that is you do need to then put N8N on your own cloud. So it's pretty much, I am taking N8N, this is the cloud offering, I'm putting it onto my own local computer, and then I'm putting it onto my own cloud server so that I can still maintain the full functionality of N8N without the cost or the limitations. I pay $6 a month to use DigitalOcean. And this is the cloud provider I use. It costs $6, and I host N8N on it. N8N has the documentation. I'm going to do a video for the members in the program, step by step, exactly how to set that up for free. Self-hosting documents are here. I followed these documents and went back and forth with AI for I had to do it twice because I did it wrong the first time. I tried to set up on a Google Cloud server and it just didn't work for me. But when I did it with DigitalOcean, so all in all, it took me about 14 hours. But now that I know how to do it, I could redo it again in an hour or two. Anyways, self-hosted N8N, and then I put it onto a DigitalOcean server. And all the documentation is here on N8N for how to do it. Copy all of this stuff, paste it into Claude, ask Claude to help you step by step. I had to do some additional stuff to debug, so I will be putting the official version step by step into my program because I want to help you succeed without having to bang your head against the wall for 14 hours. I had fun. I did it. I know you can do it, but I'd like to make the process simpler for you. Groovy. Cool. That is N8N. We just jumped in and did a pretty thorough just review of some of the possibilities. Again, it looks complicated. It's really not. Once you start to build automations, it's just like setting up puzzle pieces, right? You just got to find where the right puzzle piece fits, set up your dominoes, knock them down. Life is groovy. If you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours trying to figure this out on your own, Growth is Simple is for you. If you're an AI entrepreneur who wants to make your growth simple for your business and for your clients, I want to grow with you. We're happy to help. You need to be committed to taking action and building cool solutions. You need to be committed to making money on your own and taking responsibility for your financial success. You need to be willing to learn something new and try. But if you have a clear roadmap and you see the outcome, if you see your goals on the other end and exactly how you're going to get there, this stuff is so simple and it's fun and it's meant to be fun. If you want to work with an expert, I'd love to help you. Growth is Simple. Click the link in the description and we'll help you out. If you're a business who needs automation or AI services, Please also meet with me. You can also use the Growth is Simple link. I will hook you up with the appropriate resources or the appropriate partner who can help you out, because I have a lot of partners who love to build cool solutions, and I'd love to help you. Get in contact with them. Groovy. AI entrepreneurs, if you want to learn how to build cool solutions, service high-ticket clients, and be valuable, Growth is Simple is for you. If you want to become a partner who can be referred to, Growth is Simple is for you. Businesses, particularly info product businesses, because I love to scale with you. Click the link, Growth is Simple. Meet with me. I'll get you hooked up with a partner. That's how it works. I want to help clients find partners. I want to help partners find the skills to deliver to clients. That's what we're here for. I love you guys. Click the link. Like, comment, subscribe. Come back for more. We are going to build custom solutions in depth. You will actually get to see me build this from scratch if you subscribe and come back. We're building the coolest voice AI agents and AI agents in general. Like any agent you need to do anything, we can build it using the simple tech stack. Come back for more. I'll see you guys later. Be well. Enjoy your life. Go make some money. Make somebody happy today. You can just smile at somebody. It doesn't hurt. All right, guys. Peace.